Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Sunday Show and Tell. So in today's episode, you're going to see me talking a lot about some things that aren't going to be coming out until another 2 weeks or so. That is because next weekend, I'm going away. I may not be doing a Sunday episode. I'm not entirely sure yet. But in case I'm not, there are some things I wanted to talk about. They're going to be happening on the 15th of April, and we will get to that more towards the end of the episode. As for right now, let's start with what we have typically been starting with, and that is an update on our crowdfunders. So, excuse me. First of all, the first thing to talk about is Space Zombies from Mars unfortunately did not get funded, and I think I kind of saw that coming. I think a lot of us kind of saw that coming. I don't know if it was an issue that they didn't, there was a lack of promotion for it. I don't know if there was an issue that because it was all basically the same astronauts, there wasn't a lot of interest in it because there wasn't a whole lot of difference or diversity among the figures. I don't know. I really liked it. I was kind of bummed. However, the creators have said that this isn't over. This is just the start, that they're going to look into other ways of getting this line out there. Maybe that means another Kickstarter later in the year. Who knows? I will be following it. I am very interested in it. I'm very excited for it. And of course, I will be keeping you up to date on it. The second one we're going to be talking about is the Four Horsemen Dragon Beathir. Now remember, if you're watching this on Sunday, if you're watching this on April 6th, tonight at, tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time is when the crowdfunder is over, is when Beathir is done. Everything has been funded, so it's getting made one way or another. And as far as the dragon himself, Beathir right here, they hit the 2,000 mark, so the item has been funded. They hit the 2,500 mark, so Sir Benegard has gained his upgrade weapons and soft goods cloak. The 3,000 mark has been hit. Time of recording, that is the highest tier that has been achieved. So the Ashen Skeleton is now added into that as well. There are two more tiers, two more price points for the funding of Beathir, and that is 3,500, which will get you the Ashen Skeleton upgrade kit, and then 4,000, which gives you Beathir's Fury, which is another knight figure, which you see right here. Now, the add-ons, the add-on kits, both of them, the Fiery Breath and the Epic Wings, have both hit both of their marks. So they've both hit 1,000, which means they will be funded, and they have both hit 1,250, which means they will get their upgrade kits. So for the Fiery Breath, you get the Burning Knight upgrade kit, and for the Epic Wings, you get the Ashen Zombie upgrade kit. So the dragon's being made one way or another. Now we're just waiting to see if by tonight what the final tier will be. Anybody that's backing this, I'm hoping that they hit the 4,000, just because like getting that second knight would be really, really cool. Because think about it, with the dragon and the two upgrade sets, that's what, not counting the dragon, that's Sir Benegard, there's an Ashen Skeleton, plus Beathir's Fury, and then there is the Burning Knight, and then there is an Ashen Zombie. So that's 5 figures that would be coming with the set if you get everything that goes along with it. Once again, I'm considering just backing the Fiery Breath add-on kit just because I want that Burning Knight and the upgrade kit, and then I would end up selling the dragon parts aftermarket. Like, I don't have any interest in the dragon, I really want that knight. And then the final crowdfunder we're going to be talking about is on GameFound. That is G.I.Joe Operation Cobra. Now, I talked about this, I believe it was last week. There will be a card and link to that right above my head. So I'm not going to go into it too much. But they have released the third pledge tier, which they call the Commander Pledge level. It is $380. That's $54 a month for 7 months. Shipping and handling on it would be $50. It includes all expansions, including the new Deep Waters expansion, which I believe is unique to this tier. And the Deep Waters expansion is a Game Found exclusive. There's also an exclusive mission that is only available through the Commander tier pledge level, and that is the Silent Interlude mission. Of course, they made that the exclusive. There have been numerous daily unlocks, which include Flint, Road Pig, Falcon, Big Boa, Timber and Fiona, an exclusive mini-campaign called Underground Menace. It's a 3-mission mini-campaign. Shipwreck, Zarana, a G.I. Joe equipment pool expansion, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but that sounds cool. Spirit, CoverGirl, and Stalker was released, time of recording, Saturday. I don't know, obviously, what today's release would be, but I'm just happy they hit Stalker, to be completely honest. Now that ends April 8th at 2 p.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern time because they didn't put a time frame up there. But that is ending on April 8th, so there's still a few days to go on that one as well. I'm really excited about this. I really like that GameFound has the stretch pay, so you don't have to drop $380 all at once or put it on a credit card. Like, you get the option to pay it out over 7 months interest-free, and then pay the $50 for the shipping, or whatever the shipping is for your pledge level. But then there's still the issue that I've paid this out over 7 months, but I'm still not getting it until next year. But hey, that's any crowdfunder. Now, like I said, April 8th, 2 p.m., assuming Eastern time. One thing, another crowdfunder that I want to just take a look at, which I have not talked about at all on this channel so far, but I think some people need to know because it's kind of a bummer. The Longbox Heroes Wave 2 has been canceled. This was Fresh Monkey Fiction and Otter Toys. They are sort of like indie characters, indie comic book characters. Like, there's the Rocketeer, there was Arthur from The Tick that was going to be part of this wave, Savage Dragon, there was Clifford Seaford, the Rocketeer, and Betty, Lady Grendel. There was going to be Hallow Fire, a lot of, like I said, like indie type comic book characters for the second wave. I think a lot of people were very excited about this second wave. The first wave, which is, I believe, mostly still available on Big Bad Toy Store, was very successful. However, given the current circumstances, they chose to cancel the crowdfunder. And the reason they stated is because of the new import taxes that have been hitting consumers that are being levied against U.S. trade partners. That they stated to make this a successful campaign, to be able to get the figures made, get them shipped, get them in people's hands, it would be roughly $40 a figure for these superpower sized, I think like 5-inch figures, and they couldn't see doing that. So they've canceled the fundraiser. They did say that they're going to look into a better way of doing this, a way of getting this done. They don't really know what direction they're going to go in yet, but I just wanted to put that out there because this isn't the last we're going to hear about the import taxes affecting our beloved hobby today. It was a big week of pre-orders, and there was a lot of interesting stuff that landed today. And the first thing we're going to start off with is the Mezco 5 Points, the Return to the 5 Points series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-pack, done in the Mirage Comics style. This is really cool. And if I was into these basically like reaction type figures, I would definitely be into this, because this is kind of like, you know, reaction, or like those 5 POA figures, but like taken to the next level. Because as you can see, you get the 4 turtles that all kind of look the same, but they all have their individual weapons. They all have their individual like belts and bandoliers. They have interchangeable heads that you can see, so you can give them all kind of like those snarling heads, that snarling mouth look, like they did on the cover of, I think it was the first trade paperback from Mirage Comics, that they all had a pose like that. They had various interchangeable hands, arms, and legs. So they all retain that standard like 5 points of articulation, but with swapping out arms, swapping out hands, and swapping out legs, there's a variety of different poses you can get these guys in, and they retain that smooth sculpt going on to them. So this is a very interesting pack. They're at the 3 3/4 scale. You can get them on NECA Store. You can get them at places like Entertainment Earth. As always, links to everything we're talking about in the description below. And this is a $65 set, pretty much no matter where you get it right now. It's $65 at the Mezco store. It is $64.99 at Entertainment Earth. And let me check out something on Mezco real quick that I think... Oh, no. There's no deposit for this one. I guess because it's under $100. There's no deposit for this. So no matter where you get it, it's just going to be the $65. I think Mezco, though, makes you pay up front, whereas Entertainment Earth, you pay when the item ships. Now, Hasbro dropped a lot. And the first thing, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but Hasbro dropped a lot, and then there's going to be more that we're going to be talking about towards the end of the video. But what they have out right now is the Transformers Masterpiece Edition MPG-17 Optimus Prime Style Gen. I don't know what Style Gen means. Not a Transformers collector. I'm doing my best. This is basically Optimus Prime, but cooler. This masterpiece figure is just what it says. It is a masterpiece. That if I was a Transformers collector, this is definitely something that I would be interested in, that I would be taking a look at. It's Optimus. He has the Matrix of Leadership. He has his ion rifle. He has his energon axe. He has a pair of energy blades that sort of like come out of his arms, very much like the Bayverse version of Prime when he was fighting. And he has a strike shield, which I think is new, or at least new to me, to Prime. The parts are interchangeable. That if you check out this image right here, this is really cool because he has his blades out, but you can see the ion rifle is mounted on his shoulder, so that's still cocked, locked, and ready to rock. That's really cool. All of the gear can be pegged into him. As you see in this picture, you can peg it either into his back when he's in bot mode, or in this one, you can peg it into the beaver tail of the truck whenever he's transformed. I think that's really cool too. He is 9.44 inches tall, and unfortunately though, there is no trailer to go along with him. It's just Prime. Although, it's probably a good thing that there's no trailer, because then the price would be really high, because the price point on this version of Optimus at Hasbro Pulse, it is $147.99, so $145 on Hasbro Pulse. It is, time of recording, still available for pre-order on Pulse. At Entertainment Earth, it is $191.99, so $192. So that's a bit of a price hike right there. And then on Big Bad Toy Store, it is $199.99, so basically $200 with a $20 non-refundable deposit. This is set to ship April of 2026. So we have a year before this is set to ship. So there's some things to think about, different ways to get him. And keep in mind that if you order from Hasbro Pulse, if you're not a premium member, you'll have to pay shipping. If you order from Entertainment Earth, any order over $75 is free shipping, so there wouldn't be shipping on that one. Big Bad, honestly, seems to be the most expensive way to go, because it's $200 plus you have the $20 non-refundable deposit, and then there is, well, it's only $4, but there's still a shipping charge on that. So choose your own adventure, different ways to get this version of Prime. Something else that they came out with today was something that they had just talked about on the Marvel Legends fan stream, which I believe happened earlier this past week. I forget when that went up. I don't pay attention to Marvel Legends too much, but this one I was kind of interested in and I wanted to take a look at. This is the Spider-Man Marvel Legends series Spider-Man 3 symbiote suit. Now this is very cool. It looks really good. It looks so sharp with that black bodysuit and then like the silver piping for the webbing and the symbol and everything. looks really sharp, looks really good. One of the better symbiote suits that I think they've done for the action figures. Very much Spider-Man 3 though. Now, this is basically the same figure from the same Tobey Maguire Spider-Man figure from No Way Home. They just repainted it and gave it a new upper torso because the spider logo changed a little bit. And so that's where this figure comes from. Now, he does have the unmasked emo Tobey Maguire head with the pouty look and the black locks. The likeness isn't horrible. I think the nose is a little too big though. He has his unmasked head, he has his masked head, which looks awesome. He comes with fists, he comes with thwips, and he comes with wall crawling hands. And there is a symbiote headpiece that you can see right here that it just kind of fits on the figure, and it's like Venom's head opening up and revealing Tobey underneath. And I don't think that goes with this. Peter never did that kind of reveal in the movie. Like, to me, this is where they kind of missed something. That, like, there should be a Topher Grace head sculpt to go along with this. Eddie from the movie. So you could pop that on and then use that symbiote exposed piece right there. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like that. It's cool, don't get me wrong. It's real cool. And I don't doubt that once this gets out, people will be making third-party Topher Grace heads to pop onto that thing. And then you can do, like, Peter and Venom fighting each other. But that piece right there, I feel like that's a missed opportunity right there to get another head sculpt in there. Now, the cost of it. Hasbro Pulse. And I don't think this is supposed to be a deluxe figure. I don't think this is like being branded as that way. I think this is just a standard Marvel Legends figure. Hasbro Pulse, his cost is $29.99, $30 for this guy. On Big Bad Toy Store, he's $34.99, $35. And then on Entertainment Earth, for some reason, that's the most expensive place, $37.99, $38. So the cheapest place to get him is Hasbro Pulse. Unfortunately, time of recording, he's sold out on Hasbro Pulse. So the only options available are Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth at the higher price points. This is estimated to ship in June or July of this year. And I feel like this is going to be our new reality now. That I feel like the $29.99 unfortunately is going to be the new price point with the import taxes for at least Marvel Legends, maybe Black Series as well. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with G.I.Joe, which we'll be talking about in a minute, since G.I.Joe is a owned brand with for Hasbro. G.I. Joe and Transformers. I'm waiting to see like how that affects them, since Marvel and Star Wars are owned by Disney. That does a lot to bump the price up as well. But I just have this really bad feeling that that's going to be our new reality right now. That they'll have gone from $25 up to basically $30 a figure with these insane doesn't make much sense to me price points at Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. So unfortunately, I think that's where we're at right now. Oh, and one other thing, not to end this section on a completely dour note, but on Big Bad Toy Store, in case you missed it, that Maximum Spider-Man is back up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. I didn't find him anywhere else, but you can go to Big Bad Toy Store, put him on pre-order again. He's still, I believe, at the $50 price point, so he's still available. And I honestly don't know with the announcement of Maximum Hulk how much excitement or lack of excitement there is for the Maximum series at this point. I don't collect Marvel Legends. I don't really pay that much attention to Marvel Legends, so I don't know what the feel is for the Maximum line, but Maximum Spider-Man is available again. So now Mattel is the one that dropped a lot of new Masters of the Universe this week, and while Masters isn't something that I really talk about in depth, there's actually a lot about this that has kind of piqued my interest. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is the Masterverse figures that have been released. There have been 2 of them. The first one we're going to take a look at is Terror Claw's Skeletor right here, and this guy looks awesome. Terror Claw's Skeletor was one that I didn't have in the vintage line. I was kind of upset about that because I always loved those big claws that he had, but this thing just looks insane. He looks really cool. I don't know if I'm going to be getting him though, because the Masterverse figures that I tend to go lean into are more on the sword and sorcery side of things rather than sci-fi. And the original Terror Claw's Skeletor definitely would have fit like that sword and sorcery look. But this, with the cables and that helmet and everything, this looks a little bit more sci-fi for my tastes than what the original one was. But this still looks really, really cool. And out of all the other Skeletors I have, the one that I need to get now is Battle Armor Skeletor. But this is on my, this has my eye, so I don't know if I'm eventually going to get this one or not. He is $25.99, $26 at Big Bad Toy Store, $27.99, $28 at Entertainment Earth. So once again, we're seeing a bit of a price hike right there as well, where I think the last Masterverse figures were like $22. So they've been bumped up a little bit. The other one that is actually sold out right now on Entertainment Earth, but time of recording is still available on Big Bad Toy Store, is Ninjor. And I'm definitely getting this one. This dude looks awesome. I knew he was coming. This looks better than what I was anticipating. I love that you can strip him down to like basically like just like a ninja gi, or you can armor him up if you want to. There's different ways to display him. He comes with the standard ninja mask head sculpt, but then there are 2 face plates that are like a red demon mask. And then there's just like this blank angry face that I'm not sure what that is supposed to be or what that is in reference to. But it looks really cool as well. Plus he has all of his weapons, the katana, the nunchuck that does have like a chain on there. I don't know if it's metal or if it's plastic, but it is like a movable chain, so you can position the nunchucks in different positions. And the energy bow is interesting, but with just the string right there and the arrow coming out, I wish there was an attachment that you could take that off and have like a draw piece, kind of like Hank's energy bow with Super 7. But Ninjor is definitely one I'm going to be getting. $27.99 at Entertainment Earth, like I said, sold out. $25.99 at Big Bad Toy Store. Something else that they came out with that I am stupidly excited about is the Thundercats. The Motu Thundercats have gone up for pre-order, and they are everything I was hoping they could be. If we take a look at Lion-O right here, like I love that this line has a Thundercat and a Motu look that you can swap back and forth instead of being like the Turtles of Grayskull, where it was basically like Turtles in Eternia or in like the Masters of the Universe setting. This, you can strip them down and make them more true to their original Thundercats look. That if you take a look at Lion-O right here, now unfortunately there are no pictures with him with that harness off, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can take it off. Like if you can pop off the head and pop off the arms, you can slip that harness off. I think the reason they left it on in the photos is because if you see in this one right here, there's a loop on his back where you can sheathe the Sword of Omens back there. But then if you look at this one where he has his Thunder Trunks on and he has the Thundercats belt, you can see there's a socket on the side of the belt that, once again, even there's no photos that show it, you can probably take that gauntlet and peg it into the side so he can wear it on his hip, just like the vintage figure was able to do. Cheetara is another one where you can see just like this pure Thundercats look to the figure right here. I think that looks fantastic. I think she's the best looking one of this wave. And even if you don't want to use her for the Thundercats look, if you want to use her for the Masters of the Universe look, her armor looks awesome. I also feel like that if you sort of did a mix and match and you took the armor off, but you put that headpiece on, the head sculpt with that headpiece on, you can kind of get a 2000X type Thundercats look going on. I don't really remember what she looked like, but I thought she had some kind of headgear on in that. So then, of course, there is Battle Cat Man, which is a new character, which is basically a Thundercats version of Battle Cat. I'm totally digging that. And then there is the Skell-Ra, which is the combination of Mum-Ra and Skeletor. I'm not going to go into detail on these too much. We've all seen these before. We knew they were coming. We know what they're about. But they are up for pre-order now. And they are $24.99, $25, no matter where you get it. And Skell-Ra is $36.99, $37. Bigger figure, more accessories, 2-in-1 type deal. So it doesn't surprise me that he's more expensive. And they ship in July. Now, in addition to the Thundercats, we had some cartoon collections come out. And I know I don't normally talk about cartoon collections, but I figured while we were on this topic, we might as well talk about it. That the first one up is Fangman, and he comes with the Wheel of Infinity. Wasn't a fan of the cartoon, didn't watch the cartoon, have no idea what this dude's deal is, but he looks really cool. I wouldn't hate if they came out with a Masterverse version of this guy, because I do like his coloring, I like his look, I think that's really cool. We also have Grizzlor from the Horde in the cartoon collection. Not a whole lot of flocking, no flocking going on at all, actually. And he's carrying a mirror. Don't know what that's about. I'm sure that is a episode-specific item. And then we have Orko, that I know a lot of people have been waiting for Orko. There aren't many Filmation-style Orkos out there. And this also comes with the parts to build, to turn Orko into his uncle. So there's the potential of maybe people will be buying 2 of these. So you can have Orko and you can have the uncle. Don't remember what the uncle's name is. And he has this medallion right here that I think that played into the episode with his uncle in it. I'm not entirely sure. Now, the cartoon collection figures are $21.99 pretty much across the board. So those have been able to stay roughly the same price as the previous Origins figures. So that's really cool. And speaking of Origins, there's 2 more things that we need to talk about, that they are Target exclusive releases. Now, what's interesting about this is Target has screwed up the listings, that the names have swapped. So like the first one we're going to talk about is the Masters of the Universe Origins Sketchbook Series Cyclone 5.5. On Target's website, it is listed as Masters of the Universe Origins Retro Punching He-Man and Skeletor 80th Anniversary. So just to make it easy, once again, links to these directly in the description below, in the show notes, so you can just go check them out for yourself in case by the time you watch this, they haven't fixed the headings. But this is a very cool looking version of Cyclone. This goes one step beyond, or rather one step back than New Eternia. This is kind of what he appeared as when they were making sketches of him. As a matter of fact, even though the Target website does not show a picture of the packaging, in the description they talk about that the packaging has those original sketches of this original Cyclone as part of the packaging, which I think is really cool. So this is just basically based off of concept art, like, or not even concept art, like preliminary sketches before the concept art even came out, which he looks very astronaut. He looks very cool. I kind of dig him. There's a little bit of a look to him that like the armor, the helmet and everything kind of matches up with that spacesuit that is in Castle Grayskull. He has interchangeable chest pieces, which you can see there's 3 different ones, and I don't really get what the difference is, because it just looks like the same chest piece that keeps getting turned one way or another, and it looks like the notch is in the same spot each time. So I don't know why there's 3 different pieces of that. Just in case you lose one or break it, I don't know. He comes with two head sculpts, two swappable heads. He has the one with the visor that looks like that's the original sketch image, and then he comes with another one that looks like the more classic Cyclone look, which I think is very cool. And he has a laser pistol. And that is, as I said, Target exclusive. $19.99, $20, releases in July. And time of recording, he is still available for pre-order on Target's website. The other one is what Cyclone is actually marked as on the website, and that is the Masters of the Universe Origins Retro Punching He-Man and Skeletor 80th Anniversary, listed as Masters of the Universe Origins Sketchbook Series Cyclone. Check it out, links down below. This is a He-Man and Skeletor 2-pack done in the vintage style of the Masters of the Universe figures. That doesn't mean Origins, that doesn't mean cartoon collections. That means the vintage style with the very basic articulation, shoulders, hips, head, and they even have the Power Punch waist action feature. So whenever you pull the fist back, he'll swing forward and do the bop. So this is very cool. This is it's an anniversary package deal. Comes with both of them. Comes with a lot of weapons. You get the Havoc staff. You get the two halves of the Power Sword. That if you take a close look at some of these photos, you can see that they are flat on one side. So it looks like you can join them together to make the Power Sword. It also comes with a Filmation style Power Sword for He-Man as well, which I think is a pretty cool touch. Comes with He-Man's axe, He-Man's shield. One thing that's interesting is that if you look at this photo right here, Skeletor's armor is considerably different from the promotional photos that they show on that site as well, on that page as well. So I'm not entirely sure which version of the armor Skeletor is going to come with. They also advertise saying that these have squishy heads. So they have like the soft heads that you can squish in. This 2-pack, once again, Target exclusive, time of recording, still available for pre-order, $44.99, $45, which to me seems a little pricey for this 2-pack. That's up to you though, if you think it's too much or not. But I can see people wanting to get their hands on like these vintage style figures. Doesn't say if the ball joints and the hips are actual ball joints or if they're using the O-ring to hold the legs together, the rubber bands to hold the legs together. Doesn't say that, wasn't able to find that out. This also ships in July. And now we're going to be talking about where I live, and that is G.I. Joe. We kind of started the episode with G.I. Joe. We'll be finishing the episode with G.I. Joe. Everything that we're talking about right now are new, well, mostly new render reveals, but also it is believed these are all going up for pre-order on April 15th. This is the part that I wanted to talk about now in case I don't get a video up next weekend, just so that you all know in 2 weeks these are coming. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is Major Blood, and we have a really cool render reveal of Major Blood right here. So I have the original Major Blood, and I don't hate him. I think he's really good. Not everybody was able to get a hold of him because he was a Cobra Island exclusive at Target, and those were the dark days. But I really like this upgrade. I was kind of hoping that the new one, instead of having the cyborg arm, would have the armored arm like in the original vintage figure, but who knows, maybe they'll do that for the retro card figure. But I really like the red highlights and the red piping right here. He basically has everything that this figure has. Same weapons, same accessories, same helmet, same look, same everything. They've just remolded him, repainted him. It looks like he may have a lighter brown rather than this darker brown. And they also mention that he's been re-engineered for pinless arms and legs, which is why I believe the legs in this render look a little different from the legs on the original Major Blood. I like this figure, but this will probably be the one I put on the shelf just because that red really adds a little something extra to it, especially like up over his cyborg eye right there. So I think that's going to be my new shelf blood. This guy will take a rest. One thing that I hope that they change is the clips for his rockets back here, because I don't know if anybody else has a problem with this, but these don't hold the missiles in, or the rockets in, very well. I have issue with them popping out a lot. So hopefully maybe they re-engineer that a little bit as well. But this blood's looking very cool right here. The other one that we have is Monkey Wrench, one of my beloved Dreadnoks. Now, Monkey Wrench was not one that I had in the vintage line. Truthfully, by the time Monkey Wrench came around, I was focusing on more of like the outlandish looking Dreadnoks, which was Thrasher with the Thunder Machine, Zanzibar with his air skiff, and Zarana and Xandar, the brother and sister, weren't originally twins. Those kinds. So Monkey Wrench kind of got lost in all of that, and I never picked him up. But wow, have they done a lot to like really push this guy forward. They kind of gave him the road pig treatment, where he has a lot of accessories that the original one didn't come with. That he has the scarf, and then he also has a version of like a mask up version to cover the lower part of his face, which I think is very cool. And I think that's something that should come with a lot of the Dreadnoks, because as bikers, a lot of them would have something to wear like that. When I used to ride, I wore a scarf tied off around my neck that had sort of like a skeleton mouth on the front of it. So I really like that. I might end up painting it though, painting it black, and then maybe getting like some water slide decals of like a skull mouth or something on the bottom to sort of mimic what I had. But I really like the addition of those accessories. I don't know what's up with that AJ Styles looking mask though. Holy cow, look at that thing. It looks like he has like 3D goggles built into it. That is nuts, and I kind of love it. I kind of love them giving the Dreadnoks just these outlandishly insane looking accessories. To me, this is like Road Pig's big boar head helmet right there. So that's really cool. I'm assuming that the sunglasses will be able to come off so you can fit that on there, because it looks like it's not a full head sculpt. It looks like it's attached to a secondary hair piece. So you would take that hair piece off, and maybe the sunglasses are attached to that first hair piece, and then you would put the second one on that has the mask that comes down over it. He has a revolver that is, the only other time I believe we've seen this revolver so far is Wild Bill's revolvers. He, of course, has his Trident gun, which even as a kid, I didn't get that. But hey, the Dreadnoks all have their own out there, like, just Mad Max-esque weapons going on. He comes with an extra set of hands, which is something new that not a lot of classified figures come with an extra set of hands. He has trigger hands and he has fists. And then he has those twin hatchets. I don't know why, but I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of awesome. Dual wielding axes, Monkey Wrench, really? Those would just, oh, I just realized they're sort of like tomahawks and they're duct taped to a set of monkey wrenches. What is going on with that? I just realized what those are. Those are pipe wrenches on the bottom of those axes. And he comes with 2 of those. This is going to be a very... I'm intrigued. I'm definitely going to want to get my hands on this guy when he comes out. Yeah. He's looking good, and I'm really, really liking the aesthetics, and I'm really liking all of the gear that he comes with. Something else that's coming out that I'm very excited about is the Battle Armor Skeletor. Is the Battle Armor Cobra Commander. My bad. I really liked the Battle Armored Cobra Commander in the vintage line. What I liked about him the most was how they used him in the comics. Because in the comics, I don't think the Commander has ever actually worn this armor. This is typically worn by a Fred series Crimson Guard who claims to be Cobra Commander out on the battlefield, and like all of the forces kind of rally behind him. because in the first time we saw this armor was in the Cobra Civil War, way back in the, I think it was the late 80s or early 90s, when Cobra Commander was missing, and Baroness talked one of the CGs, one of the Fred series Crimson Guardsmen, to lead the forces of Cobra against Serpentor, where Baroness was basically calling all of the shots, but this was the stand-in for Cobra Commander. We've seen this armor used more recently in the short-lived second Cobra Civil War, where once again, it was a Crimson Guardsman that was wearing the armor while Cobra Commander stayed at HQ and was talking in his ear, calling the shots, but meanwhile, that was a rallying point for the troops on the battlefield. So I find it very interesting that this is basically just an avatar for the commander. I really dig that. I really do. I really like that story to it. Now, if we look at the cartoons, this is 100% what the commander wore after he was turned back into an almost man by Baroness during Operation Dragonfire story arc, because that's what that second head sculpt is for, where you have the reptile eyes behind the helmet. In the cartoon, he was still like, he still had like a lot of snake features, but he was bipedal, he was standing upright, he was more human than he was snake, just had scales, had the snake eyes. And in the cartoon, when he put the helmet on, magically he had regular skin and regular eyes underneath the helmet. That is what it is. But I think it's really cool that they added that second head sculpt in there so that you can use it as part of the cartoon collection if you would want to, since we're getting a lot of cartoon figures out recently. Also, in case you're wondering what that iguana is for, that's Serpentor. That's what they turned Serpentor into after they reverted Cobra Commander back to his original form. The cartoon got weird, guys. It got real weird. He has his Power Pack backpack, which carries the batteries for his power armor. He has that custom SMG, that submachine gun that he had in the vintage line. He also comes with an extra set of hands as well, that he has trigger hands, he has fists, and he has one pointing finger because Commander always needs to be pointing at somebody. So I'm really digging the battle armor Cobra Commander. That's one I'm definitely going to be jumping on the 15th as soon as these pre-orders go up. The other one we've seen this guy before, version 4 Snake Eyes, where the accessories, the weapons, they're all standard fare. They're things that we've seen before. I think what you're getting with this, though, it looks top to bottom to be a new figure, a new sculpt. I'm sure there is some reuse in that, but I can't tell just from this render what it is. I wasn't a big fan. This wasn't my favorite version of Snake Eyes, but I have to admit he looks good. I'll probably be getting this one eventually, but I don't think he's going to be one of my first grabs. Monkey Wrench and Battle Armor Cobra Commander 100%. And then the other one going up is the Claw. And always excited when the vehicles go up. I'm guessing this is going to be about $75. That's going to be my guess. I don't think prices have been released for any of these yet, but I'm guessing the Claw is going to be $75. And while it was meant to be a troop builder, you even get that Valkyrie pilot to go along with it. I'm only getting one of these because in my head, this is Storm Shadow's ride. I can't get that out of my head. The comic kind of ingrained that into me, that like this was what Storm Shadow used to get around. When I was a kid and I had the Claw, it was always Storm Shadow that was flying this thing. I liked the idea that like he could cut the engines and he could use it as a glider. He could come in and glide on it, and then if for like the silent entry, and then if he needed the quick escape, he could just kick in the afterburners and go. So I'm definitely going to be snagging one of these. The weapons that she comes with, the Uzi and the suppressed pistol, aren't horrible options, but I really wish they would stop using that double barrel assault rifle. It doesn't look good. The forward handle pops off all the time. It just, they could come up with something better. It's a Cobra figure. I mean, it's a Cobra agent. Like, you could have given her the AK. I don't have the magazine in there right now, but you could have given her the AK, or if you were going for something smaller, you could have given her like this grease gun type thing that the Cobra officers have. I don't know. I just wish they would stop using that double barrel. But all of these, everything we just talked about now, is going up for pre-order on April 15th. Probably obviously going to be Hasbro Pulse, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, everywhere where fine toys are sold. Once again, thank you for joining me on a Sunday. Thank you for making it to the end. Just a few things to talk about before we wrap up here. Don't forget that next Saturday, April 12th, is the RoboForce series premiere on Tubi. They're advertising this as Saturday morning cartoons are back. And I've seen the trailer to it. I'll put a link to the trailer down below. If I remember, I'll put a little bit of the trailer at the beginning of this video. It looks fun. It has a very catchy theme song to it. It really does harken back to like the Saturday morning cartoon era cartoons. I'll be watching this. I hope it does well. They're calling it the first of the Nacellaverse. So I guess Nacelle is going to be trying to make cartoons of their other properties, which, depending on how this goes, could be a very good thing. I find it very interesting that this is actually, one of the producers is actually Dwayne Johnson. This is being produced by 7 Bucks Productions, so that's really cool as well. Also, if you're a fan of comics and you're reading the G.I. Joe comics, right now they're doing like Silent Month, where they've reprinted the Silent Interlude original comic, and it has, as you can see, the original cover. The cover is a heavier cardstock. It's more of a cardboard cover than a paper cover. But one of the things that I really like about it is that the pages on the inside are these rough pulp pages. They're not the gloss pages that comics use now, which also means it has that smell to it. And if you know, you know, but like, it's really cool that in addition to this, they are doing a whole month of what they're calling silent missions right here. That there's only 2 out so far. That they did the original Silent Interlude, and they're doing Beachhead was the first one, and then there was Jinx, and the next week's, it's one every week, and next week's is Spirits, which I think could be really cool. And then the last 2 are Roadblock and Duke, which those don't really say silent missions to me. Like there's a Roadblock one and then a Duke one. I don't know what made them want to do that. The Beachhead one, the first one, it's not really my favorite. It doesn't really work for me. I'm not a big Beachhead fan, but like even just the story that they tried to etch out doesn't really work for me. Jinx, the Jinx one was awesome. This entire issue takes place in 20 seconds, and it is fantastic. The artwork is a masterpiece. Really, the team that worked on this one, kudos to you. This is a great book. Next week's is Spirits, takes place in the woods. Going to be really interested to see what's going on with that one too. Well, look who made it to the end, you legend. If you made it this far, please give the video a like and consider subscribing while you're clicking buttons down there. If you already are a subscriber, I want to thank you for taking time and hanging out with me and talking toys again. If you like what we do here and you want to help the channel out, please consider becoming a member of the Steel Core. You can do so by channel memberships or by becoming a monthly subscriber to my Ko-fi page. Link in the description below. Core members get access to members-only exclusive videos, the Discord server, and eventually members-only live streams, all for just $1 per month. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.